What's up, everybody? We're back in the garage. It is another day. I don't know if this is going to be the second part of my last video or the first part of a new video because I haven't gotten to editing the old footage yet, so we're just going to roll with the punches and just go on from it. So whether or not this is video number 2 of the series or the second half of the first video, we are back in the garage working on the center console for the F250 as we left off in the previous clips. It is all put together and on the brackets and ready to go into the truck. This is the center console out of an 08 to 10 Superduty truck. The cup holder trays are out of it right now. They're sitting over here on the table. But this will be replacing my jump seat / center console in my 7.3 out there. Should be an awesome upgrade to get a lot more storage and some actual cup holders. So I was able to get off work a little bit early today, which means I have about an hour of light left to get some work done this evening before it gets dark. So today I'm going to be trying to get the passenger seat out of the truck, if not the whole original center console. We'll see how it goes. It shouldn't be all that hard. It's just a little bit difficult for me. Being in a wheelchair, the seats are kind of big and awkward to move. But we're going to see what we can do, see if I can get it out on my own. If not, I'll probably recruit a family member at some point to help them pull it out. Because I actually ended up bolting it to the center brackets and doing the full shebang on it, basically make it impossible to try to put the brackets in and then put the console in on top of it and bolt it in place. It's all going to go in as one whole assembly, which isn't a huge deal. It just means that I probably have to remove a little bit more, like the passenger seat and obviously the old console or the old jump seat, because there's definitely not going to be room to slide those in around it. So that's what we're going to be working on tonight. I'm going to stop talking because the sun is setting as we speak. I'm going to get to work. Star heads over there, so let's see if I have the right size. The other ones, and I think the seat might be ready to come out. Let's see. Let's see if I can even budge it. Oh yeah, she's ready. I just can't get the right lift angle. There we go. Oh, a quarter. Another one. I'm rich. YouTube's finally paying off. Oh, never mind. There's a quarter and a nickel. Not rich anymore. It appears that the center console does have its own mounting holes. So I'm going to see if I can get this seat down. Maybe let you guys watch me struggle a little bit. And then we'll take a closer look. Here's where we're at. Front one is out. That was just the seat bolt. The rear one, like I was kind of describing earlier, doesn't sit on the stud. It actually has its own mounting bolt there. So I'm going to take that out, and then it'll be undoing the ones on that side, which I probably won't make you guys watch and suffer through it. But hopefully this thing's about to come out. We got it. And we're back. Obviously, it got dark. But we got the center console out. Hopefully that video turned out. You guys watch me struggling to pull the seat and center console out, but we got them. Here they are. We got the old going in with the new. And looking at the brackets, they're shaped a little differently, but the mounting holes do look like they're in the correct locations. I do have a little concern that this is a little bit farther forward than that, and I have my hand controls, because obviously being in a wheelchair I drive with hand controls. Hand controls are mounted on that side, so cross your fingers. Hopefully there's no clearance issues, but there's one way to find out. Yeah, she's basically ready to go back in now. Wasn't anything too crazy. The front two brackets bolt down onto the main seat bracket bolts. The back two brackets bolt on just on the inside of the seat bracket bolts on some studs. Yeah, it wasn't anything too crazy, just a little bit of a tight fit, especially getting back to that one. I ended up, you guys, I don't know why I pointed you guys at the truck. I ended up completely unbolting the driver's side seat just because I had to lift it up to be able to get it off the studs. But it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I'll tell you what, that thing's pretty heavy. The old seat is even heavier. This thing will be nice and light compared to those going back in. So weight reduction, we're going to be faster. So I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to film for you guys, because obviously it is pretty dark out. I might try to get some footage of it, but if I can't, I will show you guys what it looks like in the end. So stick around and don't exit out yet, because I promise I'll show you guys what it actually looks like when it's all bolted back in place. Yeah, I'm going to try to get to work. I can't believe it's this dark at 6 o'clock. It is pitch black at 6 o'clock. Doggone winter, man. At least it's not raining. I'll tell you what, though, it'd be really nice to have a full shop that's nice and lit and warm that I can pull this thing into. It'd be nice, but for now, I'll work in the dark in the driveway until I can afford my own place and buy my own shop. So I'm going to get back to work. Don't you guys leave quite yet. And we are back, and I'm sure as you can tell, it is another day because it is nice, bright, and sunny out right now, hence why I'm squinting a bit. But it's another day, and it is time to give you guys the final update on the center console install. I believe on the last clip where I left off, I had everything out, and I was getting ready to put the center console back in the truck to see how it fit. So I did that, and I had some issues. Now, like I kind of mentioned earlier, the issues I had, which I thought I might run into, were involving my hand control brackets that I had for the truck, or so I can drive the truck. It wasn't the exact issue I thought it was, but it was an issue in regards to actually being able to mount up and bolt in the center console with the factory brackets. So I had to do a little bit of fabricating, a little bit of trimming to get things to fit. I don't know if you can really call it fabricating. I just ended up modifying it a little bit and making it so it fit without modifying my hand controls. It was kind of two options that it gave me. Was one, either change up the center console brackets and everything, or cut and re-weld my hand control brackets. And I really didn't want to be cutting up my hand control brackets at this point in time, so made some modifications to the center console. I think it turned out pretty good. Pretty clean. Unless you know what you're looking at, you won't know anything is different. And here we go. This is what she looks like. I don't actually have the cup holders clipped down into place yet. I'll probably be doing that pretty soon, but I wanted to make sure I'm happy with everything before I button that up, just because it's a little bit of a pain and a little tricky to get those back out. But yeah, overall, this is what she looks like. I'd say maybe a little bit out of place based on the color and that it's actually leather, but the color can be changed and the leather is actually really nice to have. It's pretty darn comfy. I didn't think it'd be that much more comfortable than the last center console, but it just feels nicer on the skin. Shocker, leather's nicer than the faux cheap leather rubber gripper stuff that they have on the other center console. But yeah, so let me show you guys what I had to do to actually get this to fit in correctly. Like I said, I have hand controls in the truck. That's how I drive the truck. Connected down to the pedals. For those that haven't seen it, we got get your gas. You got your gas pedal there. You push it in. Kind of hard to see, but that's your brakes. So my original concern that I said earlier was this sticks out a little bit farther forward, and I was concerned that I wouldn't have the room to be able to pull back my hand controls. But as you can see, I got a nice little gap. It's actually not even in front of it, so that worked out well. The problem I did run into, however, was airplanes flying over and ruining my audio. So now the problem I actually ran into, here you'll see the front of my seat, my hand controls are sitting on this little bracket thing that attaches at 90 to there and goes down and bolts onto the seat bolts, or yeah, I guess the seat bolts on the front, and that's what holds the bracket in place for my hand controls. So the problem I ran into was actually that angled section in the corner where it goes off on a 90 back forward to the truck. It was actually in the way of the center console sitting down flush down to the floor where it should be. So I went through kind of trial and error, pulling it out, put it back in, and slowly just trimming my way up that plastic to get it so that it would fit flush down where it should be. So I got that all sitting right where it should be, and then I ran into the second problem. One I didn't expect was I thought I was going to have enough clearance for that hand control bracket to sit above the mounting bracket for the center console, but I was wrong. So like I said, it was either going to end up being to cut and re-weld that hand control bracket or modify the center console brackets. So what I ended up doing was actually cutting off this leg of the center console bracket right after the mounting bolt to the bottom of the center console. So now instead of having 4 mounting points, we have 3, and the one on this side is not connected anymore because it would have run underneath that angled bracket you see down there, and down underneath the bolt for the seat. There just wasn't enough room for it, and it wasn't fitting quite right. So that's the problem I had with it. Not something I really wanted to deal with, and that's why it kind of took a little longer, and I didn't get the video done or the install done last weekend, or at least on the video last weekend. I did get it done last weekend, but it was on Sunday when I got it all buttoned up and complete, and so obviously it wasn't in the last video. But overall, it turned out pretty darn good. It is mounted in that corner, this corner, and down here on this corner, and I mean, it's pretty solid. My concern was that it might have a little bit of wiggle to it and I would hear it rattling around, but after putting 300 miles on it this week, not a single noise from the entire thing. Totally solid. I'm pretty happy with it. So give you guys a little bit of a look around so you can see how it fits. As you can tell, there's a little bit of a gap there, more than what you normally have on your seats, which I'm actually okay with because it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a storage slot right here, whether you want to put a holster and a self-defense device of some sort down in that crack, or keep your maps or books or records or logs. It's just a kind of a nice little storage slot, and it's the same thing on the other side. Let you guys decide what you want to put down there. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to be mounting down there, as I mentioned. But yeah, so here's the truck, or here's the center console. Like I said, like I showed in the previous video, or maybe it was this video, I don't even know, but fixed it here. It was cracked on this side, and then back in this corner, the plastic was actually cracked. I don't know what happened, but I would guess it was some sort of impact that got pushed into it. Maybe it got dropped, I don't know. It doesn't look like it got dropped, but it was broken. Nothing detrimental, but I fixed it, so now it doesn't have any binding issues or clearance issues. So yeah, and then here's the inside of it. It's kind of hard to see how big it is, but I mean, it's a large center console. Give you a comparison. So these are my binos case,
So these are my binos, and as you can see, it's a pretty good sized case. I mean, compared to my hand size, and you put it in here, and it hardly takes up any room. So it's a good sized case. And then of course we got that power port here and the power port sticking out the back side of it. I don't have power run to those yet, but I do plan on doing that and hopefully wiring in a 120 inverter so I can have normal plugins here. But yeah, this is what she's looking like. I'm pretty darn happy with it. One complaint that I do have, that I don't know if it's really a complaint, you can definitely tell that the armrest is lower than what it used to be. After a week of, or first couple days of driving it, it felt really goofy. Now that I'm about a week onto it, I'm starting to get used to it, so I don't think I'm going to change anything up. I thought about pulling it back out and giving it like a 1-inch spacer on the bottom, but I seem to be getting used to it and it's not bothering me as much. And it's not a huge deal anyways. In all reality, it's a pretty comfortable armrest and it keeps your arm right at about 90. It's just different, so I'm getting used to it. Yeah, I don't know there's much more to show on this. Obviously, like I said, I'm probably going to end up dyeing the lid on this black so it kind of mismatches the rest of the interior. I have a gray interior, there's no tan, so I could go through and paint this and that. I probably won't paint this anytime soon because it doesn't bother me that much, but dyeing this black would be a pretty easy job, so I'll probably do that at some point in the near future just so it fits in a little bit better. So there you guys go. That's basically it. Not much more to show you guys. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think about it. Like I said originally, this isn't an uncommon thing to do. It's just not something you see all the time, so I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's nice having unique things that actually function and work. I'll tell you, these cup holders are absolutely massive. I know I said that before, but even like a large Yeti mug doesn't hold these tight. I got room to spare with my entire fist in there. Kind of an odd description, but they're big. I might actually end up getting some like rubber inserts to actually hold it a little tighter so things aren't shifting around as much in them. But overall, it's a lot better than these factory cup holders. I've had too many drinks get spilled out of these before. It's usually at the most inopportune time. So it's nice to have cup holders. One thing I wish they would have done is to actually connect this in the middle, so if you had like a coffee mug or something, the handle can sit in there, but that's not a huge deal. It is what it is. Yeah, overall it is pretty darn good. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. That's kind of the wrap up of this install. Like I said, I'm pretty darn happy with it. Nice little upgrade. It's nothing huge and it's not necessary. It's just more of a convenience factor. It's nice having that little bit of extra storage, a little bit of extra hidden storage, especially in an extended cab truck. You definitely are lacking on storage space, so it'll be nice to have that. I had a guy on my last video comment telling me about how if I would have just built my own, I would have saved myself hundreds of dollars. And he's totally correct. I could have built my own and saved myself some good money, but there's a few reasons I actually didn't. I really did actually consider it, but kind of one of the main reasons I chose to do it is time. My time is lacking right now. I'm working 40 to 45 plus hours a week, plus doing this stuff on top of it. I just don't have that much time to actually work on a project like that. Two, although I'm good with my hands and good at learning things and good at working on things, by no means am I going to make a top tier quality center console. It would look, I can see it now, it may look all right, but it would come out boxy, looking a little funny. It just wouldn't look clean and it wouldn't fit in the interior of the truck as much as this one would. So those are kind of the reasons I chose not to build my own center console. I did consider it, and I'm not going to tell you guys not to do it. I've seen some really awesome center console builds out there. I just don't think I could do it justice to what I would want, and I just don't have the time or tools or expertise to do it. So it's what you get. I always tell you guys to work on your own rigs and do your own thing.
this is the next best option for me. I didn't spend a ton of money based on what these center consoles actually go for, so I'm not too upset about it. So what's coming next on the channel? I just put a heavy toll on my bank account this morning, ordering in some more parts for this truck. So we have some exciting stuff coming. I think the next video you guys will be seeing will be me answering some questions that I have been asked over and over and over again, or being told. It's with the 6637 intake. People telling me you shouldn't use that intake. It sucks in hot air from inside the engine bay. You should get a cold air intake. I don't disagree with you. It sucks in warmer air, sucking in from where it is, having an open element filter. But I don't think it makes that big of a difference. So our next video, hopefully the next video, is going to be me testing it. I have an S&B cold air intake sitting in the house right now, getting ready to go in the truck. I'll be installing that, doing some tests of ambient air temperature versus intake air temperature, and actually looking at how much of a difference does a cold air intake actually make. Like I said, I've been told and asked this over and over again, so I'm going to go through and actually give you guys some numbers and see what difference it actually makes. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. I may eat my words, but we're going to see it. And whether I'm right or wrong, it's going to, you guys are going to find out with me. So we'll be looking forward to that. Along with that, we got some other big changes coming in underneath the hood. Some stuff I'm excited about. Like I said, she's going to be getting nice and pretty under the hood, along with some more performance. With that all being said, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. We got some cool stuff coming. As always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. It helps YouTube spread our content more, makes people realize that it's a good channel, people enjoy it, and more people should get to watch it. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I should be able to get back to just about everyone that does. It is an absolutely beautiful weekend right now, so I'm going to try to get as much work done as I can, and like I always tell you guys, get some work done in your rigs, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.